I could pull a better podcast out of my head. Hey, kids, welcome to the Tempest Universe.
China.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
It's China to me, China.
Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside.
China.
This is the Tempest Universe, man. Hold on to your ass. You're in for a hell of a ride.
I'm back from hiatus. Man, this microphone is way too hot. This is a Temper Universe, and I took a little bit of time off to take care of some personal business. And I'm about 2 days late. I posted everywhere I'll be back on the 14th, but didn't happen that way. So I am back the 16th, Wednesday, hump day. And we've got some stories to talk about. A lot of stuff has happened, just not in ufology. There's been a lot of stories, just none of it really coming out of the realm of UFOs, but there is one that came out maybe like a day or so ago, which had to do with one of my favorite debunkers. And at this point, I feel like I've been betrayed. I really have. I don't understand why he even posted this thing here, because it's about the TIC-TAC and it doesn't cover a lot of things. But we'll talk about that in the first news article for today. But I'm glad to be back. I really don't even know how this is going to work, because at this point the podcast machinatron is on full Wi-Fi right now. It's not even connected hardwire into the internet, so I don't know. We'll see what happens if halfway through the show I just disappear. In that case, then we know we got problems. We got some big problems. But other than that, like I said, I'm glad to be back. This episode, we got 4 articles to talk about, and 2 fairly, long, 2 to 3 shitter articles, and then there's the quick hits that we have. But on top of that, I know you guys, you missed the music. As much as some of you complain, I know you missed it. So I'm going to play something new for you for the first track, and then we're just going to jump right in it, because we've got to catch up. We've got stories to talk about, and I got a gripe about ufology in general. I feel like it's dying. Like, it literally, finally, I think that UAP report from last summer, from June, finally put those final nails into the topic. But we'll see how it turns out. We got, a few more months before we're supposed to hear something else from the government. So, I don't know. I just don't feel like it's going to happen. But check this out.
That I'm lonelier with you.
So I want to say what's up to the guys who are in the live chat on Spreaker and, the original folks that go on there. The Asgardians are there. We got the Norm Green Man, Dave from Down Under. I know he cringes every time I say it that way, but come on. You love it. We have Dre. Did I say Dre already? Shoot, I sure did. Anybody I missed? I don't know. Somebody hit me up and let me know. By the way, what I've been doing basically is moving to a new spot, a new cave, if you will. And for G's sake, let me tell you, everything hurts. My toes, my feet, not my back for some reason. I don't know why, but my hands hurt because I did a lot of destroying and demolition while I was moving in, and it's weird, man. It's weird. The weirdest things hurt, and we're still not done. We still got some more work to do. So, but I could definitely say the podcast will continue. This is also the in the next couple of weeks. It'll be the 1 year anniversary of the passing of Big O. So. Going to be heading to Florida to I don't know. What do you do after somebody passes a year ago? Not sure, but we're going to do something to, just recognize that he's passed away. Also, Marty Angler from the Angling Waters podcast, he's going to play an episode where Big O was on there. Yeah, talking about fishing, because Big O was all about fishing. I don't know. I don't think we came from the same womb. But he really wasn't into fishing, for fuck's sake. It's the weirdest thing. So that'll air, and I'll post it on social media when it does, because he sure did have a lot of fun on there with Marty on that podcast. So fantastic stuff to come. And maybe I'll shoot some video. I got all this video stuff, right? Because I'm supposed to be heading to Edinburgh, Texas for that UFO conference. Supposed to be heading to Area 51, though I can't even remember the damn dates. But I got all this stuff to video these visits, these conference, Area 51 and so forth. And so I figure maybe I'll use it to kind of commemorate what we end up doing for Big O. And we'll see what happens. It'll be like some kind of a real vlog on the YouTube channel. So we'll see. Let's get on to the first news article. Just spilled some of my Crown Royal. This is ridiculous. Famous Navy UFO video was actually camera glare, evidence suggests. Now, this is about the TIC-TAC. This is the gimbal video that they're talking about in this particular news article. And the thing about this is that the person that says that the gimbal video was a glare is Mick West. Here's the problem with this. Any other half-baked rubber dicker that would come out and say that the TIC-TAC video was a glare, I'd be like, shut the hell up. Get out of here. You know what the hell you're talking about, but this is Mick West. Mick West, the thing about Mick is that he puts together, he just doesn't put together a theory. He will find every single damn source under the sun in order to prove his theory. Now, I haven't checked out the video yet. I haven't looked at it. But if you look at the image for this episode, you will see the image of Mick West's video and all the shit that he put into to debunk the TIC-TAC UFO incident, the gimbal. And the thing about this is that it's hard. When Mick West goes out and he breaks down a UFO incident, he breaks it down. He really makes you think about what the hell's going on. You hear other people try to debunk videos, and it's shit. And a lot of times, what they use is just their own theory. They don't back it up with anything. They don't use computers. They don't use data from flights, flight systems from the FAA or anybody that tracks airplanes. Things like that. Like Mick West really gets into it. He finds the data. And I'm sure that's what this video is like. But according to Mick, what he says is that the gimbal video really is just a glare. And then what you're seeing is the glare, and behind the glare is the actual thing that's putting off a heat signature. But that what we see in this gimbal video, it's not a TIC-TAC, it's something else. The funny thing is that one of the things about the gimbal video that the pilots actually point out is the fact that this thing kind of turns, and it's going against a high wind speeds. But what Mick was saying is that the object is not turning. It is actually the lens on this gimbal that's turning, and therefore it appears that the object itself is doing these weird and strange maneuvers that you don't see on conventional aircraft, not even military aircraft. And so that's why we're blown away by it, because the shit didn't really happen. It is eye-opening. But the problem here, this is where it's probably one of the only times that I'm reading something about Mick West, Mr. Captain Debunker. It's probably one of the only times that I read something and I'm thinking, wait a minute. You didn't take into account the actual pilots. And he says in his report that he didn't. There's a lot of other factors that he didn't take into account. So it very well may be that this could be a UFO of unknown origin, beyond the fact that he believes that what we're looking at is a glare. But then there was the accounts from all the humans, all the people in the military, all these pilots with years and decades of experience who actually saw this with their own damn eyeballs. That is a problem with this particular incident, especially anything dealing with the TIC-TAC is a problem for debunkers in general. Because there were people there, not just in the airplanes, right? There were people in the flotilla that actually saw it, people that actually captured it on radar. How do you capture a damn glare on radar? It's probably one of the only ones that Mick West has done where it's like, it's not possible. Okay? I think that Mick West went a little bit on a limb on this one. And really, he shouldn't have published this. He shouldn't have said anything until he got all his ducks in a row. Because you have to explain those things. You can't just say that the gimbal video is a glare when there's so many other factors, so many other perspectives, so many other human eyes on the object that literally explain what's going on. So it's crazy. On it by itself, if I was like someone who was new to the entire story of the TIC-TAC, the gimbal, the go fast and all of that, I literally would believe that this incident was completely debunked just by reading this. On this article, it says that Mick West actually says that his video does not address the object itself, and it's not clear what the object is, and there is nothing to say that it isn't special or exemplary in some way. No shit. My thing is, why even put out a damn article if that's what you're going to say? Oh, yeah, it's a glare, but it could be something special. I'm sure of it. There you go. Now, he does say that if it is something that is a glare, and the fact that the lens might have created these quote-unquote unbelievable movements in the air, that it pretty much means that it's mundane. It can be explained away, and probably everything else about this so-called TIC-TAC can be explained away as well. The only thing about the whole situation, to me, is that we're missing the people perspective, but this TIC-TAC shape has been around historically on other UFO sightings for decades. So it's not the first one. So, unless people are just, getting eyeball burns of egg-shaped freaking tic-tac shaped UFOs in the sky, and it just from where would they get it? I don't understand, because it used to be the saucer was the only shape. That's all people would report. Saucers here, saucers there. And then all of a sudden we got triangles and pyramids and tic-tacs, oh my. It's a good article nonetheless. You got to give credit to Mick West and the effort that he puts in to try to debunk these UFO incidents, but this one's too big. This one needed more time, Mick. You needed a bit more time to account for the human aspect, the people. Now, I'm not saying that human witnesses are not infallible. It is very possible, like me right now on the Crown Royal. I mean, I could be telling you all kind of crazy shit, but luckily I got the link in the description in case you want to read it. But it's very possible that if it was just a human sighting, just one that saw this UFO, then yeah, it could be something just mundane, as you say. But it was more. It was military systems. It was people. It was a whole gambit of technology that spotted this UFO. So I don't know. This might have been just a bit too much for him to pull off. But my hat's off to Mick West. I like reading his stuff because, like I said, it really brings technology into the picture in order to get rid of those issues of human interpretation of what a UFO is. But I don't know. It falls a little short. Now, the funny thing is that the article did go on to say that his detailed analysis won't convince those that have already decided the footage is of a UFO. To me, I can definitely say that even with his analysis, it is still unidentified. Now, if Mick West, in June puts out a UAP report like the government did, and it says that everybody that saw the actual Tic-Tac UFO was high as hell on the weed, on the hashish, then okay, I buy it. It's a bunch of bullshit. But until then, it is what it is. The link is in the description. Check it out. It's a great analysis. I'm actually going to check out the video right after the podcast. But I know it's going to go into a lot of data, a lot of in-depth information. So I need to sit down and just take it all in. Check this out.
Strange vibration. fucking scream at me?
Where's
you
the
dumb
money?
fuck you. Look at you with your fucking 48% body fat and
The next article, it's about UFOs in Ukraine. So here's my disclaimer, right? Because I had these guys from Los Angeles who lost their shit because I was talking about Vladimir Zelensky and the people of Ukraine, which I wasn't really talking about shit about the people of Ukraine. Let me just put that out there. That's my little disclaimer, like to do in car sales. Gotta say it real quick. But this one is about a UFO that was spotted over Kyiv in Ukraine after a mysterious attack on Russian troops. I don't know what the hell's going on with that war. Let me just be honest with you. It makes no sense. I mean, it's terrible what's happening to the folks in Ukraine. But I think what really doesn't make sense to me is all the people, all the nations around it. They're just like, oh, we'll send you some stuff to help you out. That's not what he's asking for. He needs help. The dude's been asking for help for a while now. It's like, somebody living across the street from you and comes over to you, some little kid, and says, hey, this bully keeps kicking my ass. He lives right next to me. Can you help me? Can you send them back with like a freaking pellet gun. And then he comes back the next week. He's got a missing leg. You're like, oh, no, you don't need me to go kick his ass for you. Here, take this, and then you give him like one of those buzzard handshaker things. I mean, it's just crazy. This whole thing doesn't make any sense. I mean, if we're worried about atrocities, what the fuck aren't we helping them out? Anyway, so this is from Scott Z. Waring, Pareidolia Pete, and of course the self-proclaimed UFO expert, hunter, whatever else, Pareidolia master. On his blog, the UFO Sightings Daily, he shared a photo of a white disc that was flying above the skies of Ukraine, and he says that the disc was more described like a white, long TIC-TAC UFO. TIC-TACs are famous now when it comes to UFOs. He says this happened on March the 5th. So this year, not too long ago, he says that the raw footage was of this unknown craft over Kyiv, and that the object was hovering fairly low. I don't know. I mean, let's be honest. It's snowing over there. I mean, you could have like a UAV or something like that, or some kind of a drone that's in white just because it's wintertime, I guess. So it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that what he's looking at is some kind of a drone that's helping out, because they do on the news. Now, I watch this shit all the time. Can't be honest with you. I stay on top of this Ukraine thing. But it's not out of the realm of possibility that what he's looking at is some kind of a military drone. Oh, hell, it could be a news drone for all the fuck we know. Anyway, so apparently this was spotted, and something strange happened out there. According to Pareidolia Pete, Scott Z. Waring, he says that what he found is that it had very odd behavior of an aircraft, but then again, it's war, so it could be doing anything. This is the thing about Scott Z. Waring, he's nuts. Now, he did compare this to a situation of a UFO that was spotted in Fukushima, which, by the way, I think today they had a 7.3 earthquake out in Japan by Fukushima, so who the hell knows what the hell's going on. The planet's freaking falling apart, I'll be honest with you. Anyway, he says that during the Fukushima incident in Japan, the nuclear reactor was leaking, and there was a news video that was taken by Japanese television that caught a long TIC-TAC UFO flying low and over the reactor. He thinks, meaning Scott Z. Waring, that the damn UFO could be the same one or similar, is in Kyiv for the same reason. And that is because the problems in Kyiv, this war from Russia could cause harm to humans as well as our planet. I mean, he takes these long stretches. I don't know what the hell is wrong with him. He makes his stuff as he goes along, I guess. Like he's got to have a serious butt print on his shitter as he comes up with these ideas. I don't know. I can't explain this. But he says, if there is, like in Fukushima, an issue, a nuclear issue, it would make the planet unusable even to aliens for thousands of years. And I guess if you're afraid that your planet's going to be taken over by aliens, that could be an issue. I mean, is that an alien? You don't want a dirty nuclear, radioactive planet. You want something that's in green, filled with a lot of nice H2O. He says that the object over Kyiv in Ukraine has the signs of being a UFO. Yeah, it is unidentified. Thank you, Scotty Waring. We appreciate that. But there's a story that this article alludes to that came out of the Ukraine. Apparently, there was an incident with a UFO that was reported by the Latin Times. That's a long stretch. That these Ukraine soldiers reported as they were really coming close to being demolished by some Russian tanks. According to the story, and it's not dated, but who is it reported here? It was the Ukraine director of CBN, which is a news station out there. His name is Konstantin Litvinenko. I know I jacked that up. Sorry, Konstantin. He says that he believes that some of his countrymen may be experiencing some divine interventions in the ongoing war in Russia. Konstantin says that one of his fellow Ukrainians called his father from the front line, and the son, terrified of what was going on with President Vladimir Putin, forces as this tank regiment, I guess, was getting closer to these soldiers. And the funny thing is that on the phone call, the soldier prayed with his father and the members of the church where his father attended. And they said that eventually help came from out of this world. It turns out that there was apparently a UFO in the area in which the tanks were attacked by a lightning strike from a UFO. I'm not making this up. It's in the article. Actually, this is the best thing in the article because, Scotty Waring, who gives a damn? But still, you get stories like this coming out of these conflicts. There was a lot of stories that were out of this world coming out of the Middle East when things were happening over there. And here you go. But now we have another UFO taking sides, basically, right? Because they're helping out the Ukrainians instead of the Russians. Extraordinary. All this while this soldier was on the phone with his father. This is, I don't know, it's kind of shocking to me, but it does happen. You see a lot of UFO stories in conflicts around the world, and, what can you do? No one took any video or footage of it because, you have, on one side you have Russian tanks, the other side you have Ukrainian soldiers who are scared for their lives. But what a story. Is it true? Nobody knows. We'll eventually, someone, somehow, will get in touch with Konstantin over here, Litvinenko, and find out. Find out if this is a true story. Did a UFO intervene in the war in Ukraine? Nuts, isn't it? It's very possible. I don't know. We got 2 more articles to go. Some of them not warlike, but coming out of the UK across the pond, the MIB is making an appearance. And then we go to the Obama Library. Like, what could they have in there that makes us even want to look? Let's see. Check this out.
I look the other way. I don't see how it's got anything to do with me. Oh, hurry, I need my beat at any expense. 10% is donated to clean our conscience, and it works out great. Woo-hoo. Why should we change? Sleep less, be more efficient. Come on, perform better, climb higher, educate away. I am all my degrees, my masters. Hey, look at me, I am somebody. It's what I've learned at carbon dioxide. My conclusion is that it's all a lie. Our guns are mine, we're not smart, we will survive. We've got technology, it's not alive, we will survive. The seas are thriving, we will get back, it's not a lie.
Why so serious?
This next story, sorry, I'm laughing at all the messages being posted live, which I'm trying to completely ignore. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Anyway, they're just upset about the music. I know they enjoy it. I know they tap their feet and fart to the tune of it when they're on the unscheduled breaks on the shitter. Men in black visited me after UFO encounter, says British man. I can't, I'm all out of accents today. It must be the crown that's doing that. Anyway, according to an interview that was conducted by the Daily Star, this guy out in Britain, he saw a UFO and he reported it. And then all of a sudden, the MIB showed up. I don't know. I have problems with orbs and balls in the sky that I don't understand. It's very difficult for me to this. But according for this guy, he says he saw a dark orange ball in the sky, and at first he thought it was a helicopter or maybe a light aircraft that was having issues. Instead of falling to the ground, the ball just hovered. Hovering balls is another issue for me. I was a bit surprised, and he was confused. He thought it was a UFO or whatever. It didn't really enter his head. He couldn't make any heads or tails of it. Kind of confusing. It didn't make sense. He says he got home. He thought there might be a website where he could report these crazy sightings of hovering balls in the sky. But he says he couldn't find any. And he ended up contacting the police. There's some rules when it comes to UFO sightings. Number one, if you want to waste your time, report it to MUFON, especially if you're under the age of 15. There's other places you can report UFOs, but the cops is one of those that they're not going to really do much about it. I mean, let's be honest. They got a lot of other things. There's a lot of a bit of a criminal element out there that they need to take care of or give traffic tickets. UFOs is not one of these things, especially hovering balls in the air. So then, about 10 days later, our guy out in the UK, he's visited by a couple of fellows. Two guys. Why is the men in black always travel in pairs? I don't understand that. Is that yin and yang? Is that good cop, bad cop? I don't understand. Why is it always two? Why can't there be one or three? I think the men in black need to, expand their horizons and multiply a little more. Maybe have like 10 of them. Could you imagine if 10 of these men in black showed up at this guy's house asking questions? He says that these two guys were about ordinary looking kind of dudes. They were in suits. They had briefcases. Anybody carry a briefcase anymore? It all fits in your phone. I don't understand. Apparently these guys, they flashed some kind of an ID and said they were government officials. Good enough. I mean, I don't know. Would I question someone that says that they're a government official and they, flash an FDA freaking badge at me? What am I going to do? I need to listen to what the hell they're here for. So that's what he did. He said the MIB guys, they asked him about what they called the event. They were referring. Yeah, they're trying to get in his pants. They were referring to the glowing object in the sky, the balls. They wanted to know the location, the time, how high he thought the balls were. Eventually, after he gave all the answers about the floating balls, the orange, dark orange, got that. He asked them where they were from, and apparently they just looked at him really slowly. They turned their heads, and just smiled at him and left. So, of course, now he's taken to the internet. Now he's telling everybody about his MIB situation. And, the thing is, if he called the cops, why can't he go back to the coppers and ask them, hey, who did you report this to? Because I only called you fuckers. And now the MIB is in my is in my personal space, giving me wolf whistles and trying to make flirting statements at me like I'm a UFO call girl with floating balls in the sky. So it's going viral. He's talking about it. He's out there trying to figure out what's going on. And a few people in the UK are saying that it was the MOD, the UK Ministry of Defense, that was secretly investigating the UFO incident. People are also saying that the government all across the world, governments, are investigating UFO incidents and have kicked up their efforts since things happened in the U.S. last June. You got to blame America for everything. They just always starting shit. So apparently just because this UAP report came out, not all the governments around the world are out there investigating. They're sending out their own men in blacks or blue or men in purple, pink, yellow, orange, in order to figure out what this UFO situation is. So this guy didn't get any answers, but he definitely got a visit from some guys in suits. They wanted to know more information. So there's your rule. Don't call the cops. Don't call the cops. Don't call a government agency. If you want to report a UFO, get some kind of a UFO tracking group or a database that's not run by the government. And that's where you put your info is. That's where you put your report. Because anything that goes into a official database or into a government-run organization, it's going to disappear. It's going to be gone. No one's going to know. And if Harriet down the street from this guy also saw the balls in the sky, we're not going to know. There's not going to be any data to compare because your government-supplied information becomes government property and no one will ever see it. Unless you drop like 10,000 FOIAs like our next story does and get nowhere. That's going to be an interesting story. A real short one, but that story is going to tell you a lot about where we are, especially with FOIA requests. It's just ridiculous. So if you like balls in the sky, floating dark and orange and doing weird things, please check out the link in the description and get educated on what else can happen to floating balls.
overpopulated. We're all fish in a stream, swimming towards a vicious dream. Don't you know we're the walking dead, dead, dead? Our lives were meant to be this bleak. Somehow they got into our heads, heads, heads. We're wide awake, yet still asleep. We're the walking dead. Fear and hatred, dull and jaded. It's all been debated and manipulated. Nothing's ever as it seems. We're bound to believe everything they scream. Don't you know we're the walking dead, dead, dead? Our lives were meant to be this bleak. Somehow they got into our heads, heads, heads. We're wide awake, yet still asleep. We're the walking dead. We're the walking dead, dead. Oh, 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 oh. We're the walking dead. We're the walking dead, dead. Oh, 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 oh. Highly sedated, intoxicated. We're automated and overpopulated. Don't you know we're the walking dead, dead, dead? Our lives were meant to be this bleak. Somehow they got into our heads, heads, in our heads. We're wide awake, yet still asleep. We're the walking dead. We're the walking dead, dead. Oh, 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 oh. We're the walking dead. We're the walking dead, dead. Oh, 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 oh.
Last article for today. This one comes out of the Black Vault. Now we had an article about Mick West, right? So Mick West is the debunking side of ufology. He wants to prove that every UFO is not a UFO. It can be identified. And then there is a John Greenwald Jr. out of the Black Vault website, which submits he's got to have a team. This guy submits so many FOIA requests trying to get information, and you always see that one poindexter that's sitting in a dark room somewhere like 10 floors below ground level with that black marker, that Sharpie, that is just taking all these FOIA requests and just getting rid of every single word that can mean anything to anyone. Snickering the whole time, with saliva dripping from the left side of his mouth, and a Cheeto hanging from the right. This is what I picture. When someone submits a FOIA request, that's the guy that's going through and redacting all the good info. It turns out that John Greenwald sent a FOIA request to the Obama Library. Now, so if you remember, depending on what country you are, you probably don't remember. But when this report was going to come out for the UAP report from the government from last summer, Obama was out there and, he made some commentary on it. He was excited about it, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Great. Thank you, former President Obama. So John Greenwald, I guess from this, the comments that Obama made, he said, screw it. Let me just send a Freedom of Information Act to the Obama Presidential Library to see if there's anything in there related to UFOs. Bingo. He said what he got back was not what he expected. He said that they confirmed that there was I don't think they put it in these terms, but a shitload of documents and electronic files related to the topic of UFOs and the phenomena in general. And, of course, hey, listen, we're talking about John Greenwald, who he published a book that actually cited over 8,000 FOIA requests. So to submit this to the Obama Presidential Library and to get a hit, he was excited. He was tickled pink. But then there was something that they sent him regarding his FOIA requests, and being that it's not going to happen anytime soon. Number one, the Presidential Library said, listen, you can't see the documents in person, number one, so forget about it. And number two, we're estimating that it would take 16 years to fulfill your FOIA request. That's how much friggin' documentation in there made references to UFOs and the phenomena. Why would all of this be in the Obama Presidential Library is beyond me. It makes no sense. But the fact that they told him to kick rocks because it would take too damn long to get that out to the people, or hell, actually to Greenwald, is hilarious. I don't know if any of that information within that presidential library means a whole lot of shit to anybody. It could be anything. Some people are saying maybe this is procedures related to UFOs, or maybe there's some commentary that really isn't necessarily about an actual UFO, but just some rules or some kind of meetings that were really general, but they mention UFOs in it. It's crazy that Obama, that his presidential library would have so many documents that would take so long in order to fulfill this FOIA request. We'll see what happens next, because I'm sure John Greenwald is trying to figure out a way in order to get that information, at least part of it. I mean, send me something. Come on. Send me a little bit, a morsel of UFO information, and let's see if maybe this is all a bunch of hooey, a bunch of crap. But it's funny that the guy that while it was in office, and actually all these presidents have said the same thing, that they know about UFOs, they've talked about it, but they can't tell nobody. But, they make it seem like it's, run the mill. Hey, can I get into the Area 51? I like to know about UFOs. And they tell them no, and they're like, okay, thank you very much, have a nice day. But it's funny that his information at the Obama Library has so much that it would take that long to fulfill. Means that, the UFO UAP conversation is not a passing conversation that happens with presidents. It's very active. It's something that's going on and talked about way before what we have today. And that is acknowledgement from the government that there's something going on. We'll see what happens with John Greenwald and whether or not he's going to follow up and try to get some info out of that Poindexter that's sitting 10 levels below ground level at FOIA Central of the United States. We will see. That is the end of today's podcast. Glad to be back. and getting back into the groove of podcasting. I don't know. I might have to move where I'm at because I hear this crazy echo. I don't know if you guys hear it, but I hear an echo because this room is too damn big. So we'll see. We might have to move things around, but we'll catch you on Monday of next week. Hopefully we got good stories. Maybe we'll see some advancements in UFO tracking technology because, for fuck's sake, we need it. Ciao.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, 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 damn. You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to France, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back. 'Cause I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. I don't give a damn, I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, 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 damn. You're mad at me for not giving you comfort. You say that I'm away so much and now you don't feel the way you felt when we were younger. But that's okay for me, 'cause I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, damn. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn.
Today is the beginning of the end and the start of a new beginning. Time has come to let go of the demons in your head that have held you in captivity for so long. It's time to flip the page and prove them wrong. It's time for rebirth. Yeah, time's up to say goodbye to all the haters, doubters, and non-believers trying to bring you down. In the blink of an eye, you'll realize that there's so much more to the book than the page you were stuck on. Finally, you will feel free to live a life you love living instead of the life you think other people want you to live. Remember, you are the highest authority when it comes to knowing what you want and what you love. So stop trading yourself for the approval from others. Ladies and gentlemen, weirdos and geeks, please repeat after me. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a I don't give a fuck. time to